Well, I want to thank you all for tuning in to Hot Topics this week right here on Black Video News. I'm your host, Keith Scott, along with my co-host, Dre. How you doing, Dre?
Doing great. I tell you, Fast and Furious.
Fast and Furious.
Just like this year. I can't believe it's already November.
Yeah, time has moved so fast. Yeah. Almost. It's Thanksgiving, but we're right around the corner for Christmas and holiday season.
It's crazy.
It's going fast, isn't it?
2018 is almost over.
It's over with. Let's go right into this week's Hot Topics. I'm quite sure you already have heard about the shooting in Pittsburgh. We want to make sure that we let you know and send our regard and our prayers out to those families who lost 11 of our Jewish citizens were killed, along with some officers that were wounded. And of course, if you haven't heard, it was by the hands of a 46-year-old perpetrator, Mr. Robert Bowens. I don't want to say Mr. Robert Bowens, but Robert Bowens, who was the perpetrator in this senseless act at this Jewish synagogue.
Unbelievable.
I mean, what's going on? I mean, it's still going on with these people. And I don't know, we really haven't heard a lot about his background yet. They haven't told us a lot about his background. Was he ill? Was he mentally ill?
Right.
Those are some of the issues that are still under question to find out. What was his state of mind to go in there and just start opening fire on innocent people?
Yeah. Well, and then it continued in the shadow of what happened in Pittsburgh. There was another shooting. So in Kentucky, there was a young man, 51-year-old Gregory Bush. He actually went to go to a predominantly Black church, and he couldn't get in. And since he couldn't get in, he still had it in his mind what he wanted to do. And so he went to a local grocery store and killed 2 Black people. And it's unbelievable when you think about everything that transpired during this time frame, all the death, all the hate, and
they're actually calling that a hate crime?
They are calling it a hate crime. Apparently, a bystander heard him say, "Whites don't kill whites," and whatever that meant. It was just, the whole thing is just insane. And
that's insane. But even for our viewers out there, even in Pittsburgh, with the president going there, a lot of the local citizens and local officials were trying to shun away from the president coming.
Yeah.
And it seems like he's really not wanted at this time and place right there in Pittsburgh. But our hearts go out to those family members who lost victims out there.
I do want to talk quickly, though, about what we did witness in the vigil. It was an opportunity to see everybody coming together, supporting each other, loving each other, being humane and caring for each other. And I pray we get back to that.
Yeah.
I do.
Well, we'll keep you posted on that. Let's go right into this next hot topic with music icon and phenomenon Pharrell. Well, 45 just happens to play Happy, his song, after the shooting in Pittsburgh at a rally. Now, I don't understand why he wants to play that song, but of course, Pharrell lashed out. He's sending out, they say he may send out a cease or desist.
I think he sent it.
Yeah, well,
he sent it.
Yeah, the cease to desist letter.
Yeah.
That, nobody authorized you to play that song.
Yeah.
But what was he thinking about? Why are you playing a happy song after you're aware of a shooting that took place in a rally? That's not a happy moment. It's not a happy time with the loss of innocent victims.
And I'm like wondering,
innocent citizens.
That's right. Where are his people? Where are his people that, help make those decisions? Because someone would have thought maybe that's not the right thing to do right now. I don't know.
And Pharrell lashed out. Pharrell's one of those guys like, Summer Common and John Legend, a lot of the different entertainers that are really speaking out, man, that are using, their public, using their fans, using, the things that they have, to let people know that, hey, this is not acceptable.
But, it's not the first time
and
that's
influences,
happened.
It's not, and they're using their influence to let people know.
It's not the first time it happened to President Trump, because Steve Tyler did the same thing. He issued a cease and desist after a rally, and they used one of his songs.
Yeah, and Steve Tyler, he did. He lashed out too and said, you did the same thing. Yeah. Wasn't appropriate to use those songs at that point in time. So, we'll have to wait and see what happens with that.
Yeah,
what you got for us before we go?
So, Megyn Kelly Megyn Kelly, she used to be on Fox News, and she had a very successful show. Some sexual harassment claims forced her to leave Fox News. And so NBC picked her up, started a show. Unfortunately, the show actually booted Tamron Hall and Al Roker. And so a lot of people weren't happy about that. And they thought, though, Megyn was going to do a great show and that people were going to be very receptive. And she did have a lot of supporters. Unfortunately, she kept saying things that were inappropriate. And according to NBC, this last statement about Halloween costumes and blackface. So apparently somebody complained about blackface being used as a costume, and she stated she didn't understand it. It should be a compliment. But others educated her on what blackface means to black people.
Yeah.
And so she, it's a learning opportunity. She had absolutely no clue. But after issuing an apology, NBC let her go. And it wasn't just that incident. There were previous comments that were made, also some issues regarding negotiations with her people. So with that being said, she has a show no longer on NBC.
Yeah, that show is canceled.
It's canceled. But everybody is calling for Tamron Hall to come back.
Right.
And I don't know if Tamron would do that. But what they are doing is cycling through the Today Show hosts just to see who will pick up the show.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens.
It's going to be interesting.
We're going to take a quick break right here on Hot Topics, and we'll be right back.
Hello, I'm Tony Hendricks, Chief Operating Officer at Lewis Funeral Home. Lewis Funeral Home has been serving San Antonio and surrounding areas for over 100 years. Lewis Funeral Home's ultimate goal is to help those families in their time of need. If your family is ever in need, please feel free to call us at Lewis Funeral Home, 210-227-7281, or check us out on our website at lewisfuneralhome.com.
I tried Oxy at a couple of parties. I didn't know it'd be this addictive. I didn't know how far I'd go to get more.
Opioid dependence can happen after just 5 days. Know the truth, spread the truth.
Nothing to do this week? Don't miss another event. Go to blacksinsanantonio.com for our event calendar. The home of the largest business directory in San Antonio with an African American focus. Sign up today for our weekly e-blast and text message alerts. Help us make this a better community. Connect, empower, grow.
Well, thanks for tuning right back to Hot Topics. Let's just go right into this next hot topic. Now, producer, director Ava DuVernay. Mm-hmm. Now, we know her from Queen Sugar.
That's right.
But she's also on board with Netflix to create a documentary in the life and story of former artist known as Prince.
I'm excited about that. I love Prince. He's like one of my favorites.
Yeah, Prince is, we miss him
Miss
already.
him.
But Ava DuVernay is so talented when it comes. We know her from Queen Sugar and some really cool movies that she's put out. We know her for that. But this documentary gives another opportunity to show a different side of her.
Yes.
Outside of the TV series and the movies. But also, when Prince was alive, he also gave her the stamp of approval to do this, because, the estate wanted to do it when he was alive, but she has the blessings from the estate to go ahead and move forward along with Netflix. So this is something to look forward to, a documentary. Get a little further into Prince Prince has some really serious fans.
Yes, I'm one of them.
Yeah, that really love him. Man, I got some in my family.
I'm one.
I got a cousin that's a Prince fanatic.
Man.
I mean, everything purple.
That's a dream trip. To Paisley Park?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
It really is.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting to find out, the project and just, to kind of learn more about, some of the behind the scenes and his lifestyle and really truly who Prince really was.
And there's some additional music tied to that, right?
Yeah, there is going to be some additional music that's going to be coming out, some music we probably haven't heard. We know Prince lived in the studio.
That's right. That's right.
He lived in the studio. So there's really no telling how many projects. It kind of reminds you of, Tupac when he left.
Yeah.
And then all of these different albums started coming out, all these different. And I mean, he had a lot of tracks on a lot of those different Until the End of Time and some other LPs that came out. So I know Prince has an archive.
I'm excited.
A library of
I'm
music.
excited.
So
I can't wait.
We're going to have to see.
We're going to have a watch party.
Yeah, we will.
So, comedic star and movie star now, Tiffany Haddish.
Tiffany Haddish is
Tiffany
hot.
Haddish.
Okay, what's
Man.
going on, Tiffany?
So they went to a premiere, of course, Tyler Perry, and some of the other stars, Tika Sumpter. Mm-hmm. They went to open the first premiere for Nobody's Fool, her new movie.
Right.
And it was, of course, in the shadows of everything that had happened in Pittsburgh and Kentucky and another school shooting where another youth was killed at the hands of another youth. And it was an emotional premiere. And so one of the things that Tiffany said was that she is really hopeful that this movie will bring some light back into the world because it's so funny. And she's like, oftentimes you can heal with laughter.
Yeah,
you know. And I think back about hearing stories about her and her life and challenging upbringing that she had in foster care, homeless, living out of a car. Same thing with Tyler Perry. And they've come through some tough challenges. And so laughter has been medicine for their soul. And so their hope is that Nobody's Fool will serve as medicine for our souls as well. So that's very interesting. And it should open this week. And so we're excited about it.
Really went through some of the same challenges in life.
Yes.
We talk about homeless and some of the obstacles that they had to overcome and jump over to get to where they are. But it's pretty cool because Tyler Perry has seen, she's hot now, like Kevin Hart.
She is.
In the film industry, she's hot. So he's really capitalizing on, getting a movie out there. And, it takes time to get movies out there. I wonder how long, he started this project.
I know.
Because this project just kind of popped up
out of nowhere. We're like, whoa, she's got another movie?
But it's really cool to see, outside of the Medeas and outside of some of the different roles that he plays, he started playing some real serious roles.
Yes.
Just to show us the diversity of his acting skills.
Yeah, and his writing and his producing.
But it's really cool to see that because really nobody's making funny movies anymore.
No.
The movies are drama.
Dark.
They're dark. Oh, they're extremely dark. Yeah. But it's going to be real cool to go to the movie theaters and laugh.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that.
That's it.
Well, we want to remind you all, it's still election time.
That's right.
It's election time. You got to get out there and exercise your vote and your voice.
Yes.
But guess what, Dre? We're hearing, some pockets of people in different parts of the country that are still saying they're not going to go and vote because they have no interest.
It's unbelievable.
And I don't understand. You don't have an interest. You can go vote, but you don't want to exercise your right to go vote. What's going on with that?
Well, you know what? We hear you. And we're going to give you 4 reasons why you need to vote. And I know you're thinking, yeah, we hear it all the time. People died for us, blah, blah, blah. It's true. But we're going to give you other reasons beside that because it is important
It's very important. I'm going to start off with one of the reasons why.
Okay.
You always got to, give our national leaders either support them or disapprove, whatever it is, and where they're taking the country, where they're taking the community. You want to make sure that you're exercising your right, whether you approve or disapprove.
That's true.
And you have to do that.
Yeah.
But you're never going to approve with everything that a candidate does, but you gotta vote.
That's right. And another reason, a lot of people say, oh, I vote for the presidential elections, but I just don't vote in midterms. Well, guess what? Your local vote matters, because the local county and city officials are actually the ones that impact your day-to-day. They are selecting your justices, you're selecting the budget, you're selecting propositions that impact your day-to-day. So just like the presidential election is important, your local and state elections are just as important.
It really is. And I'm going to give you an example. Just like athletes in Division I or Division school running in a track meet, you got a bunch of All-Americans, all conference. You got a bunch of guys that are fast on the line. You know it's going to be a close race.
Right.
And the margins are going to be close to, getting to that finish line. And that's what happens with a lot of these different ballots that are on the ticket. A lot of these different elections are really close. They're close margins. It could take one vote. And just last year, where was it at? In the Virginia House Senate?
In the
Virginia
yes.
House Senate, it was won by
one vote.
One vote.
That's right.
So, your vote does matter.
That's right. And also, lastly, failure to vote, just saying, oh, I'm just not going to do it, is a no vote. And if that vision is different than the vision you have, you didn't let your voice be heard. Don't think you don't make a difference. As we just said, we gave you 3 reasons. This is the 4th. You don't want your government to do things that you don't want them to do. And so if you want to make a change, voting is one way that you can make that change. Now, we hear you say circumstances are different, rain, cold, sleet. It's worth it to take that stand and vote. Now, we're not here to take sides. We're not here to tell you to vote one way or the other. That's not our goal. Our goal is to make sure that you understand this is your opportunity to let your voice be heard. It impacts your children, your children's children. It impacts you. So Go vote.
Yeah, go vote. Please get out there. If you have any questions or you have any hot topics that you want to send to us and me and my co-host, feel free to send Dre an email. You can reach her at dre@blackvideonews.com.
And if you would like to give us feedback, have some comments about what we've been discussing on Hot Topics, you can reach Keith Scott at kscott@blackvideonews.com.
Now, remember, folks out there, we want to thank you for tuning in to this week's Hot Topics, but you can always get the news that matters to you, that matters to us, when you subscribe to blackvideonews.com. So make sure you subscribe to blackvideonews.com. I'm your host, Keith Scott, along with my co-host, Dre, and that's Dre with the DRE. We'll see you next time right here on Hot Topics. As always, be encouraged.